Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening? My name is Dr. Clarence and welcome back to TV7 Live, where we get to give you all the hottest and top trending topics, broadcasting live and direct from Zimbabwe, Africa. So what did we see happening throughout the day today? A whole lot of things have happened today. The new price for the Zimbabwean passport has been set. And the passport is overpriced. Just like how ZEC was overpriced, or rather how ZEC bought overpriced commodities for the election process. Yesterday we saw General Ansalem Sanyate being attacked for threatening civilians. Zikanzi munhu wa general, munhu we murwire hondo, threaten ma civilian. So we are seeing Advocate Thabani Mpofu beginning legal proceedings on General Ansalem Sanyate. Remember Ansalem Sanyate takabomona pa commission of inquiry at 45 degree foot yanga katara samdenga. Remember that time there? Mike Mpofu and Moses Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu still in a lockup in prison. So we saw this guy getting evicted today while in prison. So he recently got evicted. So we're going to be looking into the details of what happened there right about now, as it is Sanyate. So we're going to be taking a very brief look into that, what has occurred or transpired. Now, Advocate Mpofu, what proceedings did he lodge or launch on General Ansalem Sanyate, and how influential is this move going to be? What is this going to achieve? So we'll get straight into the details. So he wrote a letter demanding a retraction. I'm just going to read it. And towards the end of the letter, he threaten is not the word. He mentions an intention to take this further should General Ansalem Sanyate fail to consider to his demand or request there. Not respect to everybody who's watching us live. You can write your comment in the top chat right about now, so that I can see your names, so that I can give you shout outs. Big up to SK. We said it before. They want US dollars to travel. It was stealing from Zimbabweans. It is what it is. Stealing from Zimbabweans. All right. Thabani Mpofu, Lieutenant General and Sanyate. So he writes it, dear sir, your partisan and politically charged utterances. Sir, it has come to my attention that you have been recorded addressing a gathering of multitudes in the following manner. Pay my translation. ZANU-PF shall rule until donkeys grow horns. Whatever you stated and expressed wishes, I am now speaking as the commander of the army. We shall use what is called command voting. Do we understand each other? Forward with ZANU-PF. Forward with E.D. Mnangagwa. Down with the enemy. I consider the above statements to be a violation of Section 288, Section 208, Part 2 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, in that you, as a member of a security service, the Zimbabwe National Army, A, in so uttering such statements in a public gathering, acted in a public manner. B, furthered interests of a political party, ZANU-PF. C, prejudiced the unlawful interests of a legitimate political case, opposition to ZANU-PF, going so far as viewing your own people who depend on you for protection as enemies. Now, I like the way that Thabani Mpofu puts this one, where he says, I consider the above statements to be a violation of Section 282 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. So, when he mentions the points, the way it links with the actual Constitution of Zimbabwe, he doesn't quote the Constitution of Zimbabwe, but he puts in his points where the Constitution of Zimbabwe is supposed to be quoted. So it's clear as it is, as in he places each allegation in its exact place, such that when one just sees it, there is no need for explanation. They can just get it straight up. All right, in that point where he puts it here. Okay, let's continue. 2. Section 155 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe and the Electoral Act, Chapter 213, by threatening to rig elections in favor of ZANU-PF and against the opposition. The first schedule to the Defense Act, Chapter 1102, in that your conduct in uttering the above statements was unbecoming of an officer and a gentleman, as it amounted to willful and wanton violation of the Constitution laws of Zimbabwe. So here again we see Thabani Mpofu signs the word willful, because in the video we see Ansalem Sanyate. Of course, he is speaking. It looks like it was his raw area. It looks like it was a private function with the public. He's not a private person. Anyways, so he's a soldier, whether he's at work or not at work, wherever he is supposed to be abiding by the rules, whether he's in his own bedroom. Okay. So, willful, him trying to justify that, it may mean he may have noticed his own mistake or deliberately done that. But in his speak, what he was attempting to do in that video, he was attempting to impress people by sounding like a good speaker. Because we see at a point, he offers to pay for fingerprints money that would be required by the Sabukus there. So he's trying to be a Munwewanu and trying to be active politically, right? So why would he be doing that? He may be testing the waters. There may be, he may be having political ambitions. It is very, very highly likely that the guy has political ambitions, but he's not yet well versed in public speaking. But as of that video there, he is doing his homework and working on it. I will not mention whether he is still too far or making any progress. I don't know any of his speeches, but it is clear. What is clear to me, and that is my own observation. I will not call it an opinion. I'll call it an observation, as much as it is an opinion. He has looked into addressing people. Of course, as a military man, he might have a training on that. So, of course, the basics usually, they're the same. But now dealing with people, there are different techniques to command a crowd. Not command as in the literal meaning of command, but the command as in to control, but to command, to bring attention, to gain favor in the eyes of men. Enough respect to KD there. Expert carpenters just writes Kuti G. In Hanguna, that is C. Okay. Now, what is happening to this guy here, to this guy? Mike Chimombe. Mike Chimombe eviction. We're just going to look into the details. Remember, on the say Wicknell Chivayo, like the audios and leak the audios, the lickety wickedy audios. There's a time where he speaks, where he says, imagine it's not drought. Talking about Chibage, talking about Millytake, do you have supply Chibage, etc. So take note of that Millytake. Millytake, as we get into the Mike Chimombe. What has happened to Mike Chimombe? It seems it never rains but pours for incarcerated business person Mike Chimombe and his company Millytake Enterprises Private Limited. It has been evicted from its Eastlea offices in Harare. Chimombe and his business partner Moses Mpofu are currently before the courts for allegedly defrauding the government of more than 7 million meant for presidential goods pass-on scheme. Take note the double allegedly defrauding the government. Okay. What is being alleged is the allegations. He did it. Okay. Now, we are seeing now his fortunes going down in his company Millytake as it's been kicked out by the new property owner. It is alleged that the previous property owner had cancelled the lease, but Chimombe refused to vacate. Millytake Enterprises was registered in the year 2008, the infamous 2008. Gorere man-made drought. So it's owned by Mike Chimombe and Rusero Michael. The company, what does it do? What did it do? What did it claim to do? If it ever delivered any service? Maybe they just delivered invoices only. And now recently they've just delivered some leaked voice, audio voice notes. Anyways, so the company said is allegedly specialized. Now this is where allegedly comes in. The company, Millytake Enterprise, allegedly specializes in commercial and industrial equipment. The equipping may be just limited to the keeping of their pockets. The company specializes in supplying commercial and industrial equipment, and their services include construction, property development, economic consulting, and research and consulting engineering. Now, even after the new owners came in, they refused to vacate and they approached the courts for an order. Now, according to a report by the Zimbabwe Newsday, a court order dated June 29 gave Chimombe 10 days to vacate the place. Take note of the date. Where it's dated. Enough respect to everybody who is watching us live right about now. Can you confirm if you can hear me clearly? There might be problem with my audio. I'm just assuming. right, let us continue right about now. Now, the first respondent and all those claiming occupation through him are hereby ordered to give vacant possession of stand number 7986 Salisbury Township, Lot 1 of Beam Wireless Station site of Salisbury Township, lands held under deed of transfer number 4811 2023, dated June 29, 2023, commonly known as number 5 Morton Jeffrey Road, Eastlea, Harare, to the applicant within 10 days of service of this court order. The court order read, in the event of the first respondent failing to comply with terms in paragraph 1 above, the second respondent or his lawful deputy is hereby directed to evict the first respondent and all those claiming occupation through him for the mentioned property and give vacant possession of the property to the applicant. The first respondent shall pay the applicant's cost of suit on a legal practitioner's client scale. Chimombe's, so this is a court, the court paper or a letter they served to Chimombe's, wherever it was served. So the date here is June 29, where it's served. I don't know now if it was served to him in the cells or served wherever. All right. I'm not sure how this works. Can it be effective? This eviction notice. Can you serve somebody who is in prison an eviction notice? There, that is very tricky then. But the fact that this eviction notice now is issued while he is in prison can suggest a lot of things. There is something not right in this case. Of course, it existing in the first place, it means there is something not right. But there might be other things involved here. Why didn't he get an eviction notice before? Because we are seeing now the property is said to be having new owners. Remember, when we loot together, we may sideline our other partners in our loot and maybe loot what we looted together. Loot from fellow looters looting from each other. All right. Now I don't know the two men whatever it means. Well, I don't know what it means, but whatever it means, it's false. They don't abide by anything. Anyways. Okay. So I'm not suggesting with these guys, but we know Mike Chimombe has been in a corrupt deal, leveraging his political connections. So this guy has been involved in these election materials going way back, even in the year, I think, is it 2017 or before 2017? We see him, his company, that same company, Millytake, lodging a complaint against Tuzek against a $10 million allegedly fraudulent tender that was awarded to a company called Sanitation Services for the supply of portable toilets during the biometric voter registration exercise. Imagine voter registration exercise. Now, this 10 million was charged for how many toilets? 200. Right? 206. One portable toilet costs less than $1,000. So can add 206. At most, it should be 206,000. Right? So we're seeing this. Either these guys have been in corrupt activities, or our government employs a flamboyant who likes expensive things, or in your employer one wakapusa one overcharge one nima ghetto youths nima kuruku echipana. Okay, who can be sweet talked by these soothsayers, whichever way it is not right. So if we just seeing something that is as critical and as crucial as an election, it forks out Maritza Karaiswez. What about the small things that don't happen every day, but which actually are part of the big chunk of our national expenses? Remember, the petty expenditures actually accumulate to become a major component of our annual expenses as a nation. Now, the new prices for the Zimbabwe passports, how much is it? It is still being charged in the US dollars. Big up to Simba Chidawanyika. Thank you very much for that response. I want to proud. Edwin Masaila, Brian Case, Ruth Mbewe. Enough respect to everybody. Anyways, before we go to the new prices, this is one meme there made of Mike Chimombe there, which invokes a certain feeling there. So we see him here edited onto a movie cover for the movie You Got Saved. And now that's very creative. Whoever did this piece of artwork here. Now that is very creative. You got saved. There's many meaning, which is all many meanings to this, and it is all in context with what, or in context to what is happening to Mike Chimombe. Now the passports, Zimbabwe's government has gazetted the proposed passport fees into laws, and they take effect from today. The new passport prices come into effect following the national budget proposal by Finance Minister Mtuli last year to hike them as part of efforts to increase the state revenues coffers. All right. In a statutory instrument 1 of 2024 published on Wednesday, ordinary passports now cost $150 and emergency passport go for $250. Ordinary passports issued out after 7 working days, while emergency issued after $48 after 48 hours, sorry. Then the new law also stipulates an additional $20 to be charged for every electronically readable passport application to obtain a quick response code or a QR code. So a code that is 8-bit backdated technology. They just call it a QR code. It just sounds sophisticated. It is backdated. It's not technology. In fact, it is just data. It's just numbers that is printed in a certain format. Okay. Chikangofanana nema exam multiple choice anofilwa ma grade 7 amene kana achiri kunyora nema pencil aizonosenzwa nechi magnetic reader, that sort of thing. All right, so they're charging $20 for nothing. So my passport akwira radzika. Mtuli Ncube, I wouldn't use the word wise or clever on him. But I need to tactic to my manipulation to including the so-called stimulus. Stimulus is to stimulate certain things, right? So Mtuli had initially set them at $300 in his budget proposal before bringing them down. So even if they were not brought down, the too expensive. Looking at kuti civil servant anotambira mari, right? Because when we are looking at things, we should also be looking at kuti ma civil servant anotambira mari, not looking at kuti ma evil servants anoba mari. There's a difference there. So these are the new prices, and yes, these guys are not patriotic. They are refusing the ZIG. They want something that is as national and as dear, a form of identity, something that shows the Zimbabwean pride. Imagine something that is printed in a gold foil on the front, the Zimbabwe passport. Then they don't want to be using the international money, the ZIG gold. So these guys, they are not patriotic, right? So when they will be trying to bring those they allege to be not patriotic, even if they will be not patriotic, they should begin taking action on their own selves. Okay, because we should not have quadro standards in Zimbabwe, no, or centurial standards, because it has gone past double standards. Big up to Mike Chimombe. Enough respect. More Keynes. Anzi Kikiki. Dr. Clarence. Stop funnies. Give us news. Maybe Ndwita my funnies, but it might sound like that. Of course, I've they call it humor. But some things are just silly. Anyways, so silly things are, as much as they're not funny, silly things are funny. Big up to more kinds. Enough respect. Then, all right, guys. So I think that was it. So we're gonna be back with another video where we're gonna be talking about how the South Africa's new Minister of Sports and Culture, Gayton Mackenzie, made millions from the Zimbabwe mining and fuel sectors. So what I'm just gonna be doing, sorry, there's a call there. Holy Debbie, triple live. Let me just finish this live. Just 3 minutes. I'm just closing. Iribo, do chance phone is ne droid cam. So I'll call back now. And just want to go audio. All right, thank you. Okay. All right. Sorry guys. I just received a call there. That is DJ Holly from Point 5 Studios on YouTube. So you can just search and also do support Point 5 on YouTube. There. So I'm just gonna put the link on the next video that we're gonna be doing. How ex-convict Gayton Mackenzie made millions in Zimbabwe, leveraging on political connections. So Gayton Mackenzie at that time angakabata Jacob Zuma kuti G. Angakabata Jacob Zuma kuti G in South Africa. So there's a trend that's happening in Africa where we are seeing a certain secret society, a certain modus operandi, where they will be manipulating old African presidents who may not be well versed streetwise. So this is the link. I'm going to put it in the super chat and also in the description of this live broadcast. Anyways, so we're going to do that broadcast at 7:30. It's scheduled for 7:20, but I'll begin the live broadcast at 7:30. So I'll adjust the time to 7:30. So just do click on the link and click the wait so that when I go on live, you get notified. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching TV7 Live. As always, thank you for watching. I'm out. It's thank you twice.